The Meltdown Festival is taking place at the Royal Festival Hall, curated by Shaka Khan, who has specifically selected a lot of these great artists. And we've just come from the main hall, having seen Emeli Sandé perform. Well, I don't know how to explain it, because as I was saying to you before the mics went up, first of all, hey Emeli, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Sorry, I was just really going off on a tangent there. Well, look, first of all, congratulations. That was such a fantastic set.
Thank you.
And what I loved was, it wasn't just song after song after song, there were little bits of yourself that you were giving in between each song. First off, every time I've seen you perform, there's been a band behind you and you're at a mic. But this evening, you went to those keyboards and you owned them.
Oh, thank you.
So listen, in my ignorance, I'm just going to ask, when did you start playing keyboards? I'm just being very upfront.
Well, thank you for saying that. It's been such a big ambition for me to get in the band. You know, for years, I'm always standing out front, and there's just always such a disconnect. Yeah. And I just longed, you know, because I'll sit at the piano and write the songs, but for some reason, you know, you're surrounded by such incredible musicians all the time. You
Nicky Brown.
Yeah, I'm like,
goodness.
How could I like ask him to get off the keys? But yeah, you know, the past couple of years I've been doing a lot of solo piano shows, which has built my confidence up. Yeah. And then we kind of started building the show around those, you know, piano shows. And it's just so nice to be in it.
You say more connected with the band. There was definitely, from the last time I saw you perform, there was definitely a different energy, a different connection this evening. It was almost as though you had control of the evening. Would that make sense?
Yeah, and it feels, you know, that's how it's kind of been set up. Like me and Hannah are really, I mean, I'm friends with everyone, but me and Hannah are really tight. So I would come around and we just do all these jams, like piano and drums. Yeah. And it just felt so nice to have that, well, the friendship for one, but then also the respect from her and me to her. Yeah. And then we, you know, Nicky, I've worked with him for years, and he's just, you know, it's such an honor to play with him. And then Digby, again, they're just all genius musicians. So I feel safe in their hands, and I feel like we can just go for it. And rehearsals have just been jokes. Like we're really good friends. So it just helps when there's that natural chemistry there.
I'll tell you what I also loved as well, the feeling of, because I know you're a Nina Simone fan, and it was almost as though Nina's presence was here. Would that make sense? Wow. Because I mean, no, because you watch Nina on YouTube, you watch Nina on TV shows, and she's at those keyboards, and you've got your bass player, you've got your drums, you've got the musicians around her, but she's the nucleus of the performance. You were definitely the nucleus this evening. I mean, it was the Emeli Sandé show, but no, there was definitely a Nina feel to the evening.
Amazing. That means the world to me, because I've watched so many of her performances, and her complete command of, you know, the keys of the music. You can tell that she's telling her story through the other musicians and through the way she plays. And it's just so nice to have another dimension of expression. You know, it's great to sing and the lyrics, but to then have a melodic expression on stage, it feels fantastic.
Okay, I'm going to ask you up front, has something spiritual taken place in your life? Yeah. Or if you don't want to go there, has an experience that's shifted you taken place in your life?
I mean, many. I mean, I think after lockdown, I really appreciated performing on another level. Okay. Because when it was just taken away, you know, it gets to a point where you think, am I gonna have to retrain? Is the thing I've loved doing since I was, you know, 5 years old over now. So as soon as I could get back onto the stage, it was just like this new feeling of gratitude. And just growing, getting wiser, all of those type of things. Quitting alcohol has like really just like...
Help me.
Yeah. It ain't easy, but it's just made me feel a completely different person. So I love getting on stage. Before I'd have a little wine if I was nervous, but now I feel so pure-minded when I get up there, and I think the connection there is, there's a purity to it which feels brand new.
Okay, can I ask why the decision to quit alcohol, or was it something that just evolved?
I think energy-wise, you know, something that, you know, in the music industry, there's always a reason to drink. Like it's either before a show or after a show you're celebrating, or in the studio you want to like get loose and write a song. So, you're kind of in this different world, and then it becomes quite unhealthy. So for me, I was like, I just want my energy back. I want my mind back. And I felt I would be a lot more positive if I let it go. And so far, it seems to be working.
Beautiful. How many days or years?
No, not years yet. Like, coming up to 3 months now.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Good for you. I loved that you were very open about your Zambian roots. That was just, and then hearing your family singing, obviously that was something that was recorded that you played in. That, well, you could also see people in the audience who were connecting to that, not necessarily people from Africa, but there was something there. It's like you gave a little bit extra of yourself. That was so lovely.
Oh, thank you.
What made you decide to include that in the show?
Well, it was such a big moment for me when I first went to Zambia. I met my grandmother for the first time, all my cousins. I have a huge family over there, and everybody was a singer. So I'd kind of just been this little, you know, black girl up in Scotland wondering, you know, why can I not stop singing? And then when I went to Zambia, I was like, oh, this makes sense. And I remember the first time I went over there, I was going through a lot personally, and as soon as I started singing, it was like this purge. I just started crying. It's like when you go to church and you're like, why am I crying? But that's how it was. And it was just like this cleansing. So I feel so lucky to be part of the family, and to play it tonight was a big honor, especially because my dad's having a memorial service for my grandmother today. So it's like we're connected across the world. And, you know, I really want to make an album in Zambia, actually. So I'm hoping to go over to Lusaka and just get in the zone.
That was a very, very moving moment. Now, I want to just touch on 3 songs. I'd love to talk about your whole catalogue. My God, I'm breathing underwater. Correct me if I'm wrong, that was at a time, that song came out at a time when there was a change in your life, wasn't there? Can you hear that I've been singing all night? My throat is so dry. Do you want to share a bit about that, where that came from? Because that is not just you, definitely not just singing off of a piece of paper. That's coming from somewhere deep.
Yeah, that one, you know, really, I mean, I love gospel music. I've grown up listening to it, and that one feels like I'm speaking to God when I'm, you know, I'm doing something I thought was absolutely impossible. And it feels like flying, you know. So yeah, for me, I wrote that song. I was going through massive personal changes, you know, going through divorce and all this stuff. And, you know, is there a place for me in the music industry? All this type of stuff. And it was about going back to that spiritual root. The reason I sat on the piano when I was a kid, the reason, you know, I was listening to Aretha and the Ninas, it's music just gives you this incredible, profound freedom. And I always think about that when I sing that song.
I must have played Read All About It for years, having been on the radio. I almost felt like this evening I heard it for the first time, and I can't quite explain why. Maybe it's because it's the first time I'm seeing you at the piano. Maybe it's, I don't know, I just heard those words for the first time, having played that song for years.
Oh,
Do
wow.
you want to give me a little bit of a essence behind Read All About It?
Yeah, Read All About It. I mean, first of all, I did a single with Professor Green. That was back when, 2012. And then my A&R said, can you do a version where you speak your truth in the verses? And you know, each year I sing it, it's similar. Like every time I play it live, it has a new meaning. You know, the world is constantly changing. We are getting more and more fearful. We're all getting separated more and more apart. So yeah, especially now singing that song, you know, I really mean it. And now I'm 37, I'm like, okay.
You're a baby.
I don't feel like it. So it's just, yeah, it's a song that directly speaks to people, and that's why I love doing it live, because it's, you know, the words are, it's like a speech. So depending on my mood, or depending on what I've seen on the news, or, you know, the words have an extra weight, you know. And sadly, I think the more we go on, they're going to get heavier and heavier.
Absolutely. Maybe that is why I'm feeling, you know, thinking I'm hearing it for the first time. Okay, Beneath You're Beautiful, Yourself and Labyrinth. And I thought, right, how is this going to work? He's not here, but you carried it off. Like I say, there was just this connection. There was just something about this evening that, yeah, it just worked.
Oh, thank you.
Even though he wasn't here. So recording that with him, and my kids are major Labyrinth fans. There's the track Jealous,
Yes,
which
beautiful.
always brings me to tears. But also he was very instrumental in Euphoria.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hello. So read all about, hearing yourself singing Beneath Your Beautiful. I'm hearing Labyrinth, but it's coming out of your mouth this evening.
Yeah.
That is quite a collaboration.
Oh yeah. One of my favorites.
I was going to say, with him in the studio, I mean, just watching his videos. So I can imagine the two of you in the studio.
Yeah.
That must have been deep.
Yeah, I mean, and we kind of came up around the same time. I remember when I first got published, they were like, you should hear this kid Labyrinth, like, da-da-da. And just seeing his journey and watching how far he's gone now. I love that Euphoria soundtrack.
Is it amazing?
And he has a incredible handle on music. Like, he knows the ins and outs, the theory, harmonics, all these books around his studio, and he could just jump from one instrument to another. So, you know, similar to like I was saying with a band, when you're in such confident hands, it's just so fun. You know, I remember going there, it's like, oh, I've got this song. I was like, yeah, kind of, you know, there it was.
Is there like a trust between you two?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I haven't seen him very recently because I think he's now in the States, but yeah, it was just, I completely trust him. I mean, he's a complete musical genius, so I would love to work with him again.
Okay. As you walked out this evening, like I said, it was almost as though there was a Nina Simone energy that came out on stage, but you're also a major Aretha fan, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the first time you heard the Queen of Soul.
I mean, it must have been my dad playing me, was it Spirit in the Dark, maybe? But it was just, it's like she's breathing.
Yep.
She's not actually singing. She's just like, and she's hitting crazy notes, but just like casually letting them out. And that's what I aspire to as a singer, for it to feel so comfortable, for you to feel like you're in a church service, basically, where we're not trying to perform, we're just purely expressing ourselves,
The spirit is coming up, the words are coming out your mouth, and they just have a little melody. Yeah. All right now. I know it's a cliched question, and I'm sure you've been asked this many times before, but what does the future look like for Emeli Sandé?
More shows.
Live shows, please.
Live shows, yes, coming this summer. Hopefully a tour at the end of the year. I have a new single coming out called Roots. Actually, that was the one I played there that my family's on the end. So that's coming out soon. Just more music, hopefully another album. Just, I feel in a really good place. Good. And, you know, I love exploring live performance. I think with all the changes in the music industry, this is what we have left. This is where you can prove yourself as a musician. You can't fake it. You face the crowd and here it is. And I love that we still have this beautiful connection still left.
And Emeli, you're still here next to me. Yes. Emeli, congratulations. I thought that was a great show for Meltdown. I look forward to many more of your live shows. And thanks for your time. I don't know how you've still got a voice. I was in the crowd. My voice is practically gone, but no, it was fantastic. Thanks so much. Thank you.